I was talking with a friend of mine just last week. He's 72, sharp as a tack, still full of life, and he said something that really stuck with me. He said, I don't need to make a fortune, but it would be nice to earn just a little extra without leaving the house, something that gives me purpose, and maybe pays for a few dinners out. And I thought, you're not alone, that little thought. It's in the back of many of our minds because even in retirement, life doesn't stop costing money. Social Security helps, maybe a pension too if you're lucky. But let's be honest, it doesn't always stretch far enough. Groceries, prescriptions, a trip to see the grandkids, they add up faster than we'd like to admit. And here's the thing, none of us want to go back to the 9-to-5 grind. We've done our time, but wouldn't it be wonderful to have a simple way to earn a few hundred extra dollars a month without breaking our backs or learning a bunch of confusing new technology? Well, the good news is it's not only possible, it's already happening, quietly, right now. All across the country, seniors are finding gentle, peaceful ways to bring in an extra $500 or more every month, not by driving for Uber or selling risky stocks, but by doing things that feel natural, comforting, even enjoyable. Things like talking on the phone, watching a neighbor's dog, or sharing a hobby they've loved for years. And that's exactly what we're diving into today in this video. I'm going to show you 4 real side hustles things seniors are already doing that bring in real money right from the comfort of home. You don't need to be a computer wizard, you don't need to move fast, and you certainly don't need to feel overwhelmed. These are smart, simple ideas that you can take at your own pace. I'll explain how they work, how much you can earn, and even where to start. My goal is to give you peace of mind and a bit of inspiration, so whether you want to pad your savings, afford a little travel, or just feel more useful again, you'll have a path forward. And hey, if you enjoy videos like this, would you mind giving it a thumbs up and hitting that little subscribe button? This channel, Vibrant Elders, is all about helping you live well, live free, and live full. We share stories, tips, and small ways to make your golden years even richer, so join us and be part of this growing family. All right, now that we're feeling a bit more hopeful, let's jump into the first side hustle. You might be surprised to hear just how many seniors are already doing it and loving every minute. Number 1, remote customer support for senior-focused companies. Not long ago, I met a woman named Margaret. She's 67, lives in Ohio, and used to be a school secretary. Now, instead of running around a busy front office, she spends her mornings in her cozy den, cup of coffee in hand, helping people over the phone. What does she do? She's a remote customer support agent for a company that assists seniors in setting up their Medicare and health devices. When I first asked her how she got into it, she laughed and said, I just knew how to answer the phone and be kind. And honestly, that's really what this side hustle is all about. Companies that serve older adults like Medicare support hotlines, senior-focused tech products, or even prescription delivery services are looking for calm, reliable folks who can answer questions, walk customers through simple steps, or just lend a patient ear. And who better for that than someone who's lived a life full of real conversations? The best part is you don't have to leave your house. All you need is a quiet space, a decent internet connection, and maybe a basic headset. Margaret works about 3 to 4 hours a day. 3 times a week, she chooses her schedule ahead of time. Which means if she wants to take a Friday off to go see her grandkids, she can, and for that time, she earns roughly $17 to $20 an hour, more than enough to add a solid $500 to her monthly income. Sometimes more if she picks up an extra shift or two. Now, if you're wondering where jobs like this can be found, there are some very reliable platforms to check out. 2 of the most trusted ones are Working Solutions and LivvyOps. These aren't just job boards, they're companies that connect businesses with remote workers, especially in customer service roles. They don't require a college degree, and most provide basic training so you feel comfortable before you ever take your first call. And let me be clear, you are not being thrown into a stressful call center environment. This is slow-paced, one-on-one help with folks who are often just like you, other seniors who might be confused about a medical alert system, an insurance form, or how to set up a prescription delivery. Your life experience is actually an asset here. You know how to talk to people, how to listen, how to calm someone down when they're frustrated. Margaret told me the best part of her job isn't the paycheck, it's the feeling that she's still helping people. I may be retired, but I still have something to give, she said. And I think that's something many of us can relate to. So if you've got a kind voice, a little patience, and some extra time, this could be your perfect fit. And the next time you see a charge on your credit card from a nice lunch out, you'll know you earned it, one friendly phone call at a time. Number 2, pet sitting or dog boarding from home. Let me tell you about David. He's a 72-year-old retired history teacher who, not long ago, was feeling like many of us do after retirement, grateful for rest, but also wondering how to fill the slower hours. He wasn't looking for a job. He just missed having a little noise in the house, a little movement, and yes, a little extra cash wouldn't hurt either. One afternoon, his neighbor asked if he could watch their small dog for the weekend. David said yes, thinking it'd be a one-time favor. Well, that one weekend turned into something more. After a few walks, a couple of tail wags, and some enthusiastic face licking, David realized this could actually become a side hustle. And not a stressful one, just a friendly way to keep his days full, his heart warm, and his wallet a bit heavier. Pet sitting is one of the easiest and most joyful ways for retirees to earn extra money. If you love animals and have a calm, safe home, you're already halfway there. You can either welcome pets into your home for short stays, what they call boarding, or you can check in on pets in your neighborhood, maybe walk them or just keep them company while their owners are out of town. It's not physically demanding, and most of the pets you'll care for are already trained. David eventually signed up on a site called Rover, which connects pet owners with sitters. He made a simple profile, added a few photos of his home and backyard, and set his availability. He didn't have to drive around, knock on doors, or build a website. The clients came to him, other folks in his area looking for someone reliable and kind, and you know what? He started earning about $25 to $40 per night for each pet. Sometimes he had 2 dogs over the weekend, which meant he was making more than $200 in just a few days while enjoying the company of friendly animals. Over a month, it added up to $500 or more without feeling like work. The beauty of this hustle is that it doesn't require any special skills, just love and care. If you prefer to start small, you can begin by offering your services to friends or neighbors. Word spreads quickly, especially in local senior or church communities, and if online platforms feel overwhelming, you can even skip them entirely and go the old-fashioned route, printed flyers at the local library or grocery store. David says it best. It doesn't feel like a job, it feels like a gift with a paycheck. He walks a little more now, smiles a lot more, and always has a story about the funny things his furry guests have done. So if you've got a quiet home and a soft spot for animals, pet sitting might just be your next favorite hobby and a steady little stream of income. To boot? Number 3. Selling handmade or vintage items on Etsy or eBay. When Joan was a young mother in the 70s, she used to crochet little stuffed animals for her kids. Nothing fancy, just sweet little bunnies and bears made with soft yarn and love. Decades later, those same toys, still sitting in a box in her attic, caught her granddaughter's eye. "Nana," she said, "these are better than anything at the store. You should sell them." Joan chuckled at the idea at first, but one quiet afternoon, her daughter helped her list just one on Etsy, and it sold the very next day. That one little bunny opened the door to something Joan hadn't expected, a way to turn her quiet crafting hours into steady, meaningful income. You see, many seniors have talents and treasures sitting right in their homes. Maybe it's hand-sewn quilts, old collectible tins, costume jewelry from the 50s, or beautifully framed vintage postcards. These things may not seem valuable at first glance, but to collectors and handmade lovers online, they're little gold mines. And selling them? It's easier than you think. Let's start with Etsy, which is great for handmade or vintage items if you knit, crochet, paint, make candles, or have any old family heirlooms over 20 years old. Etsy is the perfect place. You don't need a fancy website. You just snap a few photos with your phone, write a little description, your daughter or grandson can help, and post it. That's it. When someone buys, Etsy takes a small fee and you ship it to them, often with nothing more than a small box and a roll of tape. If you have more general vintage stuff like glassware, old tools, books, or old electronics, you might try eBay. It's a bit more like a digital yard sale. And many retirees find joy in selling off things they no longer use. One gentleman I know, Chuck from Kansas, sold his entire collection of old wristwatches on eBay after learning his retirement home didn't allow more than 2 drawers of non-essentials. He made over $1,200 in 3 months, just clearing out his dresser. And don't worry, this doesn't have to take over your life. Joan, our crocheting grandma, only takes 3 or 4 orders a month. That's enough to bring in around $500 while still leaving her time for her garden, her book club, and Sunday dinners with the family. She says the best part is seeing buyers leave notes like, "Reminds me of what my grandma used to make." The key is to start small. Pick a few things, try listing them. You don't need to be perfect or fast, you just need to try. If you can send a photo to your grandkids, you can sell on Etsy. And if the thought of shipping sounds intimidating, the post office will even pick up packages from your door, no need to wait in line. So whether it's your old hobbies or hidden treasures in the attic, there's real money in those memories. And someone out there who's waiting to buy a piece of your story. Number 4, local tutoring, online or in person. Frank never saw himself as a tutor. He was a retired accountant, good with numbers, sure, but he figured his teaching days were long behind him. That changed one day when his neighbor's grandson was struggling with math. Frank offered to help, just for an hour or 2 a week, no big deal. But something happened during those little sessions. The boy started smiling more, his grades improved, and Frank? He felt a spark he hadn't felt in years. What started as a neighborly favor slowly turned into a fulfilling side hustle. Tutoring is one of the most powerful and flexible ways to earn money as a retiree. And no, you don't need to be a former teacher or have a fancy degree if you know how to speak clearly, explain things patiently, and care about helping others. You're already ahead of the game. There are kids in every community who need a little extra help. Reading, writing, math, history, and not just school subjects. Some want to learn piano, others need guidance on how to write college essays or speak better English. You might not think your life experience qualifies you, but trust me, it does. All those years of budgeting, writing emails, helping with your own children's homework, they've made you more than ready. You can start in your neighborhood, ask around at your church, community center, or even the local library. You'd be surprised how many parents are looking for someone trustworthy and kind, especially for their younger kids. If you're comfortable using a computer, websites like Wizent or Care come let you set up a profile, list the subjects you're confident in, and even teach online via video chat. Many tutors earn between $20 and $30 per hour. And you set your own schedule. Take it slow at first, maybe just one student. A few hours a week is all it takes to start seeing the impact, both in your wallet and your heart. I spoke to a woman named Sylvia, 69, who teaches basic English to immigrants at her local library. She said, "It's not the money that keeps me coming back, though that certainly helps. It's seeing the relief in someone's eyes when they finally get it." And she's not alone. Tutors often find that the real reward is the human connection, the shared laughter when a tricky concept clicks, the joy of watching confidence grow. If you're worried about where to begin, start by thinking about what you enjoyed explaining to your own kids or grandkids. It might be multiplication tables, U.S. history, or how to write a simple story. That's all valuable. That's all needed. Tutoring doesn't just fill your time, it fills a need. It reminds you that you still have so much to give. And as Frank puts it, it's not about teaching math, it's about reminding someone, young or old, that they can do hard things. So maybe as you've been listening today, one of these ideas sparked something inside you. Maybe you thought, I could do that. That sounds like me. And if you did, even for a moment, I want you to hold on to that feeling, because that little spark, that's possibility. That's the start of something new. You don't need to take on all 4 of these side hustles. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Just pick the one that feels the most natural, the least intimidating, the one where you think that doesn't sound so bad. I could try that for a week or 2 and see how it goes. That's the beauty of this stage in life. You get to choose. You get to say, I want to try something new, but on my own terms. And isn't that what retirement should be about? Not sitting around waiting for the days to pass, but filling your time with things that bring you joy, purpose, and yes, a little extra money too. Because let's face it, things are expensive these days, and having an extra $500 a month, that's not small, that's a little breathing room. That's groceries without worry, a trip to see your grandkids, a birthday gift you don't have to think twice about. But more than the money, what these side hustles really give you is connection, a reason to get up and feel excited, whether it's a pet that makes you laugh, a student who looks up to you, or a customer who's grateful for your help. You get to be part of someone else's story again. And that's powerful, so here's what I'd love for you to do today. Just choose one, pick the idea that tugged at you the most, and take the tiniest step toward it. Look up the website, talk to a neighbor, ask a friend if they've tried something similar. You don't have to have it all figured out, you just have to begin. And if this video helped plant that seed for you, I'd be honored if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Vibrant Elders for more gentle, helpful advice just like this. And tell me in the comments what side hustle feels like a fit for you. I read every single message, and your story might inspire someone else who's still on the fence. You are not too old, you are not out of options, and you are certainly not done growing. Creating or contributing, this chapter of life is yours to write. And if that chapter includes a cozy home, a loyal dog for the weekend, or a grandchild watching you teach math with pride, well, I'd say you're right on track. Go gently. Go bravely, and remember, even the smallest steps can lead to something beautiful.